everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about non-fiction, as I'm a non-fiction writer. I mostly write health and social care and self-help books, and I wanted to give you my top 5 books for non-fiction writers. There's a lot of books for fiction writers out there, how to structure your novel, how to plot, how to plan, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of non-fiction books, or not any good non-fiction books anyway. I struggled to find some when I was first starting out. There's not many specifically geared towards how to write self-help books either, or how to write social care books. I never found one which was from start to finish, which was enough information. There seemed to be bits in one or bits in the other, never all together. It's something I'm working on at the moment, but that won't be out till sometime next year, if it is next year at all. But it is something I do want to work on, because when I was looking I struggled. I'd like to write the book where it's from initial idea to getting published, whether that is through traditional publishing or self-publishing. So I'm going to give you my top 5 now. They're the best ones that I've found, but if you know of any, then please let me know in the comments below. So the first one is How to Make a Living from Your Writing by Joanna Penn. Now, I'm sure if you self-publish or have been looking into self-publishing, then you will know who Joanna Penn is. If you don't, then if you go to www.thecreativepenn.com, you'll find so much information there. She was the first person I found when I wanted to go the self-publishing route, because obviously I have a traditional deal, but for my second book, Right Through Depression, I wanted to self-publish that, and everything that you need to know about that is on her website. She's also got a YouTube channel, a podcast, all sorts, and she writes fiction too, but I mainly read her non-fiction. I have all her non-fiction books. This one isn't specifically just about non-fiction, but it is for a non-fiction writer as well, because it tells you about other streams of income that you can follow if you're a non-fiction writer, such as if you've written a book about a certain subject, how you can turn it into a course or a webinar, how to write articles related to it for when it's going to come out. Inside here she talks about how to think of it as more than one book. So this goes for fiction too, but because we're concentrating on non-fiction, that's what I'm going to talk about. With my non-fiction book about health and social care that's coming out, if you go by the advice that she has in this book, then I'd be thinking about maybe setting up a course to go with it. Worksheets that people can download, online courses that they can follow, things like that. This one isn't specifically on how to write a non-fiction book, but it gives you ideas of what you can do with your book once it's published, and all the different avenues you can go down. So, and it's not very expensive. I have this on Kindle and this print book, obviously. I think it's only a couple of pound for the Kindle. I think it's at the most £6 for the printed edition in the UK. And while you're there, check out her other books as well, because they're really good. And I think she's got one which is on perma-free at the moment. She's switched them around, I think, because I'm sure I got this one for free at one point, and then obviously she's brought out the other one, so that one's free now, and that's all about how to self-publish a book. So I download that one while you were there as well. It's free. You've got nothing to lose. So yep, check out Joanna Penn. The second one is by Stephen Blake Matei, I think. I'm not sure how you say that surname. How to Write a Non-Fiction Book Proposal. I used this when I was writing my proposal to my publisher, and it really helped me. It's got all sorts of information in here, how to structure your book proposal, how to make it stand out from everybody else's, what you have to include to be taken seriously. So things like how you're going to plan to market your book, because that's what publishers want to know these days. You know, have you got an email list? Do you have contacts in the media? How you plan to market it, because you have to do the majority of marketing yourself these days. The same as with, well, you have to do it all for self-publishing, but a traditional publisher will only spend a couple of weeks on marketing your book and then they'll move on to the next one. It's got things how to write a query email. It tells you how to write if you're looking for an agent as well. It's quite hard to find an agent when you're a non-fiction writer, so the information in here is quite helpful for that. How to write your bio to make yourself sound better, how to write a synopsis, chapter by chapter breakdowns, everything that you need to include in there. Things like books that are similar to yours, how yours is different. It will help you out with all of that, so check that one out as well. And then the third book is by Shelley Hitz. Procrastination to Publication, How to Write a Non-Fiction Kindle Book in 7 days. Now, you can't write a book in 7 days, I'm sorry. Think of it more as 7 steps rather than 7 days. It's not a massive book. It's a very basic book, but it does give you some hints and tips. As I said at the beginning, there are not a lot of books for non-fiction writers. This tells you how to brainstorm topics. If you're not quite sure what you want to write about, you know you want to write non-fiction but you're not quite sure, or you've got quite a few different ideas for a non-fiction book, if you brainstorm them all, you'll see which one you've got the most ideas for and maybe go with that one. This is another really quick read, basic information about writing non-fiction. The 1 Hour Author, Non-Fiction Book Writing for Busy People by Robert Bannon. This goes into things like what kind of keywords to use when you're publishing, thinking about what your book's purpose is. It's a good thing to put on your back cover. What purpose is it serving somebody? Because they're not going to want to buy your non-fiction book unless they think it's going to help them in some way. Got a bit about copyright law, things like that again, but this is quite basic. And then the last one is by Paul Limmer, How to Write a Non-Fiction Book in 60 Days. Again, this is about establishing your book's purpose, thinking about your reader. It goes through days, so because it says how to write a non-fiction book in 60 days, it's got things, so say like chapter 10 is about getting organised, and it's also day 10. Examples of things like a mind map, I think he calls them clustering, but how you could set one out, but I think the majority of people know how to mind map. And then another day would be, so chapter 7 is research day, so on day 7 you would do all the research that you needed for your book. Sometimes it's going to take more than a day, obviously, it depends what your book is. But if you're planning on churning it out in 60 days, then you probably are going to have to do it in one day. I wouldn't advise it. You need to be researching thoroughly for non-fiction. There's always going to be readers who want to point out what you've got wrong, so... And, you know, if you want people to buy your non-fiction book, then, you know, you need to be the expert on it, and one day's worth of research isn't going to make you an expert. So I hope they are helpful for you. I would say the two that I found the most helpful, number 1 would be how to write a non-fiction book proposal, and it's got more than just writing a proposal in there as well, and I go back to that one. Even if I'm not writing a proposal, I still look in it for ideas. And then the second one would be the how to write non-fiction in 60 days. Then the Joanna Penn one, and then it's a toss-up between these two because they are very brief ones. But please do let me know if you know of any good ones, and if you know of any good ones that are to do with writing self-help, because obviously that's what I write, or if you know any about writing social care textbooks, because my book is a textbook that's coming out next year. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been thinking about doing my top 5 personal development books If that's something you're interested in, then let me know down below or give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!